back. We back. You know we back. Yes, sir. So, really quick. It's going to be a quick one, but is this the end of a dynasty? Is this the end of something that used to be great? You know, you could just say, hey, look, I want to go to Miami tomorrow. I only got $100 for a hotel room. Okay, maybe $200. $200 for a hotel room and $100 for a plane ticket. You know what? Let me look and see what Spirit has on board. Oh, man. $68 round trip. Oh, we booking. Oh, we out. We out there in Miami. So, found out today, after looking, it came up on my feed that Spirit Airlines earlier this year filed for bankruptcy. And they came out of it. They thought that they would be able to still survive. And, you know, some of my bourgeoisie who have never been on Spirit before, Spirit is, how can I say it? I'll get to that in a second. So they filed for bankruptcy. They came out of it. So now what they're saying is that because of low demand domestically as far as their flights, which most of their flights are, I don't know if all of their flights are, but I know the ones that I've caught before are. And they're saying that they just don't have the money to keep up because of adverse marketing conditions, lack of travel. You know, a lot of people don't have the money to take, some of these more leisure trips that they may have taken. I know at a certain point, my bread wasn't right either. And like a smaller trip that I would take to Miami or maybe take the kids to Fort Lauderdale, something like that. The money just, it just wasn't there at the time. So it has inevitably affected Spirit, which in the community we effectively call soul play. Now, to go on to that, what they're saying is that they may have to sell off gates. Now, once again, this is nothing I'm familiar with. I didn't even know at the airports, the airlines own gates. But okay, so I guess what they're saying is that at an airport, you get a certain amount of gates, when they pull us in off of the plane. So Spirit is toying with the idea of that they may have to sell or rent out some of their gates so that other airlines will can schedule more flights to have open gates, because they're saying that they just don't have it and that they're running out of money, or they've run out of money just coming out of bankruptcy. So they're in a position also too where they said that, hey, look, you want to buy a plane? You know what I mean? Like even me, if I had some bread or whatever, like maybe like 30 of us get together, clean that joint off, take that yellow Spirit off, put on there whatever company we want to put on, and get all them seats out of there, because the seats are so small. I usually got to sit like this in them, right? So, but take some of that stuff off and like put a few leather chairs in there, and we all just get together and start buying some of their jets, or at least buy one. But that's what they're doing. So they're attempting to, they said that part of their strategy to stay in business may be to sell off / rent some of their gates at airports and get rid of some of their planes. From a business perspective, right? Because most of us have had some type of business or have tried to attempt to, be in business. And even me, I would take the plane. Was I glad for the $69 flight, for the $59 flight? You doggone right. Because how else can you get to Miami or Fort Lauderdale from Philadelphia for that cheap? You can't even do that if you gas up your car and drive down there. And one thing I used to love about Spirit, I don't know if it was the flights or whoever, or maybe the plane was smaller, but if you took Spirit before, have you ever gotten there? Seemed like probably about a half hour earlier than everybody else. I take American and stuff. Oh, you know what? We're doing our final descent. You'd be like, dang, these guys are right on time. But when I used to take Spirit, man, oh man, when they said final descent, I'd be like, hold on. We only been on this joint for like an hour and a half. How y'all get down there that fast? But anyway, the one thing though, and when we talk about business, as far as Spirit, the one thing I think that they did that kind of hurt them, although it's an economy line, having to pay for everything a la carte becomes an issue for people. Because I'm telling you, people will still book. To me, it's a psychological thing. They'll still book, but instead of you trying to lock in that $69 and just say, look, man, we got flights for 109, period. We got flights for 109, you get one check bag. already incorporated in there because people are still going to say, hey, look, that flight was crazy cheap, so I'm still with it. Yeah, come on, bring your carry-on and everything. But see, when people, because once again, we all know money, or we should know that money is a psychological thing. Oh, yeah, I got that $69 to book that right now. Yeah, you know what I mean? I only got $84 left in my account, but look, we out in Miami, right? So, but then when it's time to go, you know, you got to get your couple little outfits. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're taking your babe, you got to make sure she's cool, she's straight, got all this stuff. You need spending money because, you know, when you start eating on Ocean Drive, you know what I mean? You know, you got to, you know, pull that credit card out or pull Mr. Benjamin Franklin out to send him up to heaven because him and his twin brother, Benjamin, too, they both going to have to go up to heaven when you go eating on Ocean Drive. So you think to yourself and say, all right. And when you get to the airport, it hits you again. And you're like, yo, she got this big suitcase, or I got this big suitcase, or better yet, I get to the gate and they're telling me my carry-on does not fit inside of the thing. Do you know how many times I've seen people upset and argue about that? Do you know one time, you ready for this? One time when I took the Spirit gang, I had to say to my significant one at the time, yo, you gotta take some of that stuff out. Because I had already prepaid for the luggage, I think $50 a bag or whatever it was at the time. And because the bag was so heavy, they wanted to charge another $150 per way. So you mean to tell me I gotta pay, not only did I already pay the $50, you mean to tell me I gotta pay another $150 this way, $150 coming back, another $300 on top? Well, doggone it, I might as well have just paid to get a good flight and get a good seat on American or somebody else. Even Frontier has a little more leg room because I'm telling you, if anybody, and most of us know, you'll be on Spirit like this and you will be very tight. I don't even care if you're small. And like your legs, you have, if you're over 5 feet 2 inches, you have no leg room at all. Your legs, your knees are hitting the back of the person in front of you. So just because it's an economy airline, or let's just make it correlative to us, just because we may want to have a cheaper business does not mean that all of the amenities need to be cheap. You get on there, they charging you $2.50 for a soda. I don't see how they bankrupt. They used to charge $2.50 for a soda or something like that. $3 for a pack of Oreos, like nonsensical stuff. And what it tells me is that people will deal with certain stuff, but once they get there, just because they didn't pay as much money does not mean that you treat them badly. Does not mean that their experience needs to be making them feel like they are less than. You shouldn't have to get on a plane. I don't care how much you pay for it. You're the guys that set the price. I don't care how much you pay for it. Because if people want to fly and they want to get somewhere fast, they're going to do what? They're going to pay for the ticket. But if you do them, and this is why we called it Soul Plane, because you get on there, it's tight, it's you know what I'm saying, and you know it's an economy flight, you know. But you know when people are hyped up and they want to get somewhere, they want to get somewhere. But after you reel them in, you want to keep them in. It would have been nothing, Spirit, to offer people, you know what I mean, a complimentary Coke and a sandwich. Because I'm going to tell you what typically happens. When you do that, then people feel free to buy the other bigger things, like drinks. You know, like maybe a hot meal, a warmer meal. No, thank you. I wouldn't like the sandwich. But you know what? Do you happen to have a hamburger? You know, my kid wants a burger. Oh, sure. We offer hamburgers. Sure. But you get on there and somebody trying to charge you $2.50, $3 for a can of Coke. And then on top of that, like I said, if you're taller than 5'2", your knees are going to suffer gravely. So what's the moral of the story here? To me, is that you can still have an economy product, but don't treat people like they are peasants or less than. Once they get on to your plane, in your car, whatever it is. That's like telling somebody, oh yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll take you home. I got you. I'll take you home. You know what I'm saying? And you get in their car, you get in the car, and then they start saying to you, well, listen, you only gave me $10 for gas. But if you give me $10 more, I'm gonna take you straight to your front door. I got you. But for this $10 you gave me, I can get you to the L, to the sub. I can't get you all the way home. Can you imagine going to an airport? And I'm saying I've seen it a million times with Spirit. You get there, and then hey, no, you come here with that carry-on. Come here. Oh, okay. Put it in there. Oh, it won't fit. Yo, like I said, we had to sit, so I didn't have to pay $150 for that suitcase. And I'm telling you, I'm moderately cheap. I said, yo, take that stuff out. We're going to put it in my book bag or whatever, because I always try to bring a book bag, and I told her to bring one too. We're going to take that stuff out because this is not going to weigh $150. It wound up getting down to about $75. But you know how embarrassing it was to stand there in front of all of those people as they're trying to get to their destinations and everything, and we're standing there 5:30 in the morning trying to take stuff out of a suitcase because she packed too much. There's just too much stuff in there, and the suitcase is bigger than a typical human. Do you know how embarrassing that is? And see, the thing is, Spirit, we get it. All these airlines, you have your own rules and everything like that. But you also got to consider people don't want to feel embarrassed. People don't want to feel like, yes, I got this, but now that I'm here, there's more rules. Yeah, I knew about most of them, but sometimes things happen. Sometimes people do pack and they can't sit that thing snug into there. But if you would have just said, hey, look, we're going to make sure we charge everybody an extra $25 anyway, instead of trying to nickel and dime people, it wouldn't have been an issue. And that goes for anybody's business or anybody that's out there running a business. Do good business with people. Just because you may offer something at a cheaper price does not mean that a person is going to come back if they don't feel like the service was satisfactory. Even me, I would take Spirit and everything, and I still take economy airline sometimes. I won't get it twisted. So what I did was the least I'll do now is Frontier. Now, people don't like Frontier either, but at least with Frontier, the one thing I will say, most of their seats have a lot more leg room. So I will, on a 3 or less hour flight, take Frontier. But in business, we know you have to treat people good. You have to treat people good. People want to feel like they are getting a great service. You ever know how that feels when you get upgraded to something? You go into a hotel or something, and they'll say to you, you know what, sir, madam, we have a suite available. No charge. We're going to upgrade you because, they know typically nobody's coming anyway. And you say, oh, my God, thank you so much. Here, take this 20. This is for you. Just take it. Take it under the table. This is for you. Or whatever you do. But people want to feel, even if they're the brokest person on the earth, they want to feel special. They want to feel special because in most people's everyday lives, no matter how good they are, people still get to a point where they feel bad about things. They may feel depressed about things. So, in this case, Spirit, there are a lot of things you could have done that were a little better. And having an economy airline is great. And I'm sure if you guys go out of business, it'll get rebranded or somebody else will come out with another one. But if whoever comes out with the next one, and I'm even trying to say this for if anybody from Frontier ever hears this, charge a little extra, man. Charge that extra $20. Because see, when people are booking something, they ain't tripping over that at the time. Oh, that flight is 130 round trip, direct flight, cool. Okay, it's 150. All right, cool, we get it. We've been paying more money for gas and groceries anyway, we get it. But give the people something that they want. Make them feel good. Add that extra $20 in there and say, look, you can carry on whatever. But that's just how I think. Soul plane out. Live life. and don't let life live you.